Hey guys, I'm Jared, and today we're talking about what's new in board gaming as of March 31st, 2023. I'll be covering the latest news, announcements, most played games, hot new Kickstarters and crowdfunded games, and more related to board gaming for the past 2 weeks. At the end, I'll also be sharing what's going on behind the scenes with my YouTube channel, Meeple Mentor. So stick around, we've got a lot to cover. Leave me a like and comment on what kinds of updates that you want to hear more about. To make sure you don't miss my news updates, new video tutorials, and our podcast episodes, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and your preferred streaming platform. Let's get started with some crowdfunding. If you're looking for a combat-heavy card game where you forge your weapons while you fight, look no further than GameFound. Until April 12th, you can back Final Strike, a 2 to 4 player game with unique monsters, weapons, and a potion deck. With 3 game modes, it offers enormous depth and replayability. It's for ages 10 and up and plays in 45 minutes. Gatefall, the tactical combat deck-building dice chucker, is back on GameFound with their new expansion, Gatefall Monsters. This miniatures combat game brings the likes of Dracula, the Mummy, and the monster, Frankenstein-esque creature, to the table for battle. It requires the core game, and it's for 1 to 4 players ages 12 and up and plays in an hour. It's funding on GameFound until April 20th. Next on GameFound is an asymmetric set collection game. Tolerance has variable player goals and a deeply embedded theme. 3 to 5 players are engaged in the conflict between the 16th century Catholics and Protestants in England. This game uses a trick-taking mechanic where the winner of the trick must perform the tasks on the played cards, for better or worse. Tolerance is a game for ages 12 and up and plays in 45 minutes. You can find it on GameFound until April 15th. Tartarus is a dungeon crawler in a board game size, 1 to 2 players with pixel art graphics. The goal of the game is to fight hordes of ruthless monsters to get to the final boss, but your hero won't be alone. Other players will try to deceive you and endanger your life after all. Glory is not to share. During your adventure, you'll find objects to help you and will have available destructive abilities to crush whoever stands in your way. The expansion Tartarus, The New Souls, adds 2 new terrifying bosses and 5 new abilities, and you can back it on GameFound until April 21st. Prepare to set your hearts aflutter. The wonder of nature is present in this game as players create a meadow bursting with vibrant flowers. In Flutter, tile placement is key in the game. Enclose tiles with all flowers necessary to produce pollen to be spread across the land. The player with the most pollen wins. Flutter's for 2 to 5 players, ages 8 and up, and plays in 30 minutes. You can find it on GameFound until April 20th. Star Colonies, the card game, sees 2 to 4 players exploring and colonizing habitable exo-worlds. Attack and defense of star systems you and other players have explored and deck building are featured in the highly interactive 30 to 90 minute game. It's recommended for ages 11 and up and includes a solo play option. It's funding on GameFound until April 8th. The Elder Scrolls, The Betrayal of the Second Era, provides a combat-laden, character-building strategy game for 1 to 4 players. In campaign-based style, players will improve their characters and go on adventures, completing quests through the Tamriel provinces. Dice determine your fate in this 2-hour experience for ages 14 and up. It's funding on GameFound until April 21st. Resource Gatherers Rejoice, DEI, Divide et Impera, is a reprint and expansion for the competitive board game based on the conquest of resources. The 2 to 4 player game, set in a new ice age, sees players retrieving and exchanging technology and materials for medicines and synthetic food. Featuring multi-level modular tiles, different paths to victory, and an immersive scenario, DEI plays in around 75 minutes and is intended for ages 14 and up. You can find it on GameFound until April 7th. Caged In is an epic game of card combat between 2 fighters. Players exchange punches, kicks, takedowns, and submission attempts in order to defeat their opponent. The game is for 1 to 2 players ages 10 and up and plays in 20 minutes and funding on GameFound until April 29th. Moving over to Kickstarter, we have Let's Go to Japan from AEG. Players are travelers planning and experiencing their dream vacations to Japan. Draft activity cards and plan them into a daily itinerary, matching icons to earn bonuses. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 10 and up and plays in about 45 minutes. It's funding until April 10th. 2040, An American Insurgency simulates a civil war in the US. This 2-player game sees a 3-hour game in which the 21st century continental US is overtaken by conflict, and you're either a rebel or a federal. This game uses mechanics that will be familiar to players of coin-style games, but adding a new mechanic that forces both sides to deal with social media. It's for ages 14 and up, and you can back it on Kickstarter until April 12th. Heroes of the Pacific is based on the well-renowned Heroes system tactical scale. The core box and its battle pack will allow you to relive the battles that took place during Operation Watchtower, explore new types of terrain, and implement new rules, such as doctrine cards, while filling objectives. Battle over the Pacific with the support of either the Imperial Japanese, both Army and Navy, the USMC, or the US Army in this 45-minute game for 2 players ages 14 and up. It's funding on Kickstarter until April 14th. Dueling card game enthusiasts can find a fun experience in Woodland Wizards. This 2 to 6 player game sees players revealing cards simultaneously and resolving their effects in turn order. As a small wizard using magical powers of summoned creatures, your goal is to win the coveted Wilderland Cup. It's for ages 10 and up and provides a playtime of 30 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until April 15th. Are you looking for a game to take on the go? Pocket Paragons Round 2 may be what you're seeking. Choose your Paragon, add their cards to your arsenal, and unleash simultaneous actions to dominate the enemy player. This card game is for 2 players, ages 14 and up, and plays in 5 to 25 minutes. It's funding on Kickstarter until April 1st. Galactic Renaissance is a game about influence. In this political battle game, expand your influence throughout the galaxy, sending your emissaries abroad and discover new civilizations or cement relationships on known planets. It's intended for 2 to 4 players ages 14 and up, and playtime is 75 minutes. You can find it on Kickstarter until April 11th. Unmatched Adventures Tales to Amaze is an epic cooperative experience for 1 to 4 players that focuses thematically on pulp adventures and B-movie bad guys. You can also opt to play competitively in this game that uses the Unmatched system. It's available for funding on Kickstarter until April 10th. Are you looking for an original dexterity game? Nekojima takes you to the Cat Island, with the player's goal being to electrify the island by placing and/or stacking electric poles in the 4 districts without any hanging cables touching. It's intended for 1 to 5 players ages 7 and up and plays in 20 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until April 11th. Fans of The Wizard of Oz should check into the new game Lands of Oz on Kickstarter. In this mixture of card management with a type of set collection twist, players will attempt to attract heroes to their lands. The player to score the most points wins in this 2 to 5 player game for ages 8 and up. It has a playtime of about 20 minutes, and today is the last day to pledge. Ecosphera sees players using deck building and optimization to restore nature before it's too late. Cultivate plants to attract animals, then achieve biome tiles. The goal is to collect 7 biome tiles while avoiding disaster cards and extinction tiles. It's for 1 to 4 players ages 8 and up and plays in an hour. You can find it on Kickstarter until April 20th. Planning is important in Pocket Rails, available for backing until April 3rd. This is because there are 3 rounds, but only 2 of them score. Invest in a portfolio wisely to avoid becoming overinvested or overproduced by selecting and passing cards. The perfectly balanced portfolio wins the game. In The Last Kingdom, the board game, based on the Netflix show of the same name, players can play as one of a selection of asymmetrical leaders. From there, they draft cards for planning, form alliances for conspiracy, rally the clans, then battle. It's for 2 to 5 players ages 14 and up and plays in 30 minutes. It's funding on Kickstarter until April 15th. Crown of Ash is a game of warring necromancers for 1 to 4 players, combining worker placement and area control. Send out your loyal minions, gain alchemical ingredients, and raise an army of monstrous undead to conquer your rivals in combat. It's intended for ages 14 and up and plays in 60 to 120 minutes. You can back it on Kickstarter until April 20th. If you're looking for a mix of deck building and tableau building, Chemical Overload is available for backing on Kickstarter until the 27th. Grow and improve your deck and brew and activate potions in this 45 to 75 minute game for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up. Are you ready to take your game night to a whole new level of ridiculousness? Say hello to Nuns with Nunchucks, the battle card game that will have you rolling with laughter. This game is a hoot to play and a cinch to learn, taking only 20 plus minutes to play for 2 to 4 players ages 15 and older, because there are some drug and alcohol references. So whether you're a seasoned gamer or just looking to shake things up, Nuns with Nunchucks is the perfect addition to your game night. Available for backing on Kickstarter until April 27th, choose your ridiculous team and battle it out with Nuns with Nunchucks. Cozy Juicy Reel has made it to Kickstarter, available for funding until April 27th. The game is intended for 2 to 6 players ages 14 and up and plays in an hour to 2 hours, making use of cards that award for openness, bravery, and offers encouragement as players answer questions indicated by a progression path. Your choices of questions are cozy, juicy, or real in nature, varying in intensity. That's all for Kickstarters. Next up, we have a new campaign from BackerKit. Wild Gardens is a strategy game for 1 to 4 players. Take on the role of foragers as you gather ingredients, upgrade your skills, complete recipes, and serve guests at real-life locations. Customize your strategy and earn victory points from satisfied guests to win. You can back it until April 19th. Getting into the industry news, Chetty Hampson is leaving his post as CEO of TCG Player effective this Friday, March 24th. He announced on Facebook, no successor was announced. The new CEO will have some challenges, including dealing with a newly unionized workforce. After 2 great years, including a spectacular 2021, the Hobby Games channel grew 10% in 2022, capping a 14-year run of growth. Responsible for around half of Hobby Games sales, the health of the TCG business is key to the health of the channel, and board and card game sales were also up in 2022, with the growth in the number of consumers cited as the primary reason. RPG sales continued to expand in 2022, with a new season of Stranger Things turbocharging ongoing organic growth in the category. GAMA has announced the results of the recent election held to elect members of the board of directors in all categories except retailers, who will vote in a separate election beginning on March 28th. The new and returning members of the board of directors are Eric Price from Major Games Factory Production, Grace Collins, Snowbright Studio, creator, Monica Rasso, Tabletop Enterprises LLC, Meeples at Sea, Media and Events, Lee Allentuck, The Last Game Board, publisher, Bo Heath, Arcane Tin Men, wholesaler. Next, let's look at newly announced games and expansions coming to retail. Stronghold Games plans to release Discovery, an expansion for Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition, which includes new project and corporation cards that let players upgrade phase cards. The expansion also adds awards for end-of-game scoring. It's set for release on April 5th. River Horse gives us a nostalgic boost and returns us to the Dark Crystal in Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal card game, set for release on July 15th. The game features tarot-sized cards and employs a trick-taking system. In addition to the realm of the Dark Crystal, River Horse has announced that they will release on the same day Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock card game. It's a memory game for 2 to 6 players ages 6 and up and plays in 20 minutes. A new expansion for Furnace, entitled Interbellum, is slated for release on April 5th. Arcane Wonders brings us the game's first expansion, which advances the timeline to the 1920s and 30s. It also adds capitalists, manager tokens, new company cards, and more. It supports 1 to 5 players ages 12 and up, and plays in 30 to 60 minutes. Exciting news for Lost Ruins of Arnak fans, as Czech Games Edition announced The Missing Expedition, a new expansion for release into retail later this year. Players get to employ 2 strategies offered by 2 new expansion leaders, new paths of knowledge, 2 new research tracks, new artifacts, items, and assistants enable this game to be played as a solo or 2-player cooperative campaign, as well as fitting into the base game. It is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and plays in 30 minutes. In Wandering Towers, players assume the roles of fledgling wizards who are about to take a final exam. The new cooperative board game from Capstone Games sees them casting spells to gain advantages over other wizards and working towards a goal of filling 6 potion bottles. Wandering Towers is for 1 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in 30 minutes. Intellectuals and lovers of Eurogames have Sancor, the Pride of Mansa Musa to look forward to. This middleweight game will be released by Osprey Games into retail in Q4. Players will enroll and graduate pupils, teach classes, and fill libraries, focusing on the advancement of the collective knowledge of theology, law, mathematics, and astronomy. It's intended for 1 to 4 players ages 14 and up and plays in 150 to 180 minutes. Gale Force 9 delivers in a planned trio of expansions for Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core. The 3 expansions, Get Away From Her, You Bitch, Ultimate Badasses, and We're in the Pipe 5x5 are slated to release in September. Offering new Marines, Xenomorphs, and options to the game, these expansions follow the June re-release of the core game. In tandem with the space theme, Star Trek Away Missions is a new miniatures board game announced by Gale Force 9. This game and its expansions are set to release in July and allows players to skirmish in ground battles commanding various factions in the Star Trek universe. The game is for 2 players ages 14 and up and plays in 60 to 90 minutes. In Number Drop, players roll dice to create shapes with numbers and drop them as efficiently as possible onto their board. Once the dice are placed, they can circle combinations of identical or consecutive numbers on the dice in order to score. Alderac Entertainment Group will release this game on August 18th. It's intended for 1 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, and plays in 20 minutes. Dire Wolf has announced Clank Legacy 2 Acquisitions Incorporated Darkest Magic. 12 separate sessions make up a campaign that will see players gradually develop their characters and fill out their personal journals. A Kickstarter campaign for the game is set to launch May 2nd, with pledge amounts yet to be announced. Princes of Florence, recently announced by WizKids, is a new edition of the original board game and 2 expansions to be released in July. Players are tasked with becoming the most renowned prince or princess of Florence by climbing the social ladder. Accumulate the most prestige points to win after 7 rounds. Princes of Florence is for 1 to 4 players ages 12 and up and plays in 70 to 90 minutes. Santorini, the godly strategy game, is back with a new co-op expansion and new look. Launching on Kickstarter this month, the abstract board game is much like checkers or chess, but with a Greek god twist. Players build and attempt to get their builder minis to the top of the structure before the opposing forces can cap them, blocking them. Greek gods wreak their usual havoc and assign special win conditions. In Kingmaker, the royal relaunch, Lion Rampart gives us the new version of the 1970s classic. Players use military and political power to control their faction and manipulate the leaders of 24 major families of Welsh and English descent in efforts to gain control of the kingdom. It will be released in North America on May 15th, and it's for 2 to 5 players. Resist, a new solitaire card game to be released by 25th Century Games, sees a solo player taking on a number of missions with increasing difficulty. Battle against the Francois regime as a Spanish marquis. It's for ages 10 and up and plays in 20 to 40 minutes. Finally, Devere Games' The White Castle will be released in October at Essenspiel and around the world. So far, the only information about theme is that it is to serve as the spiritual successor to Red Cathedral, employing a feudal Japanese theme and new mechanic. Let's talk for a bit about what's happening on the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. First, did you know we have a Patreon page? It's available for fans of the podcast and channel to pledge as a Patreon and support us here. There's various pledge levels for small monthly support that helps grow the channel's content. You can get access to new content early, you'll get to vote on new game tutorials that come out on the channel, and more. Head to Patreon at patreon.com/MeepleMentor. Starting tomorrow, I'll be hosting a free game giveaway for the new Kickstarter game Distilled. It just delivered to backers, and I have an extra copy I'm giving away. If you want to see what to expect, watch my unboxing video for Distilled just published on the channel. There's an announcement video coming out tomorrow to describe the giveaway, which will have a link to the King Sumo giveaway page where you can gain entries. You'll need to be subscribed to the channel to win and provide a continental US address. Good luck. Since the last news video, I released a full tutorial for Carnegie, including its solo mode. We also released unboxing videos for Terraforming Mars, Ares Expedition and its expansions, and Cookie Run Kingdom, the board game. It's another Kickstarter that just delivered and has a ton of cute components. We did a full review of Cozy Juicy Real, which is live now on Kickstarter, so if you want to hear our full, honest, uncut review of the game, you'll have to watch it from YouTube. The designers decided not to include it on their Kickstarter page. Lastly, I made a recommendation video for the Off the Shelf series where I talked about Rajas of the Ganges. It's an excellent dice placement game and full of color and beautiful artwork. Thanks for tuning in to today's news update. I appreciate your support. And remember, teach when you can, but always be learning. See you next time.